I assume you like Pavlov since you clicked this video. While you're probably a typical fan that plays a few times a week, I'm probably in the mentally ill category. And today, I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks from my time playing Pavlov and PC version competitively. And I'm not like that other YouTuber, Dusko Disco. I actually have competitive history. Basically, I used too much time in this fucking game. Even so much time that I got invited on multiple teams.
I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!
And for literally so many weekends, I would stay up to 2 a.m. to play Pavlov. And eventually it was normal for me on weekends to stay up to 2 a.m. just to play versus Americans on 200 and 130 ping. That's still bad. Still fucking bad. So the most important thing I have learned, I know this sounds like trolling, but just getting good aim, man. It's so good. And personally, I use gun stock. And to be honest, it can be a good a lot of the time. But I would not recommend it for a total beginner. Because I would mainly recommend controller stacking. Since it's a little bit better overall. And it's, free. You only need your controllers. And it's pretty easy to use. And controller stack, it's basically, where you get your... It will make it way more stable. Doing this instead of, just... There's a lot more motion that can happen. I feel like I'm about to make a your mom joke. And there are also a lot of tutorials online on how to aim. Personally, TVR's video on it. It has a lot of fucking views. Not close to my video yet, which I will never surpass. A guy named Kodiak also made a pretty decent tutorial. And he also made a fucking stupid tier list video. Which basically was, if he doesn't like you, you are set lower. I can't believe I'm so mad about it. And you see, pretty much the only reason why this gets a lot of views is because people are insecure, like me, and want to know what a guy rates them on the tier list. That's the only reason why this guy actually gets views. All of his friends, all of his naughty friends, S tier. Anyways. Something I found equally as important to aim is spraying. When playing and trying to get better, you can't just use aim all the time. I personally was one of the best in the league just because of my aim, but I could easily have been like top 3 in the whole game if I had a brain like some other players. But one fucking goated IGL literally was so persistent with me having to learn like all the callouts of the maps. Or well, at least the usual ones. And just learning how to be a team player in general. And I could for hours on how to actually get good game sense. But I would just search on YouTube, search for Pavlov finals and learn from there and just watch it. But here are a few things. Don't peek too much unless you know what you're doing, but it's generally not a good idea to like wide peek all the time. Blanking can also be very good and beneficial for your match. Blanket is basically going around somebody or going beside them, which can be good sometimes, but it's not good very often. But it can definitely be a lifesaver in some games. But if you really want to learn better game sense, I would recommend watching competitive games.
They're already down to no HP from an aid.
And since Pavlov TV has come out, basically a castle system for Pavlov players, it's gonna be way easier to spectate other players and see what they do right and do wrong, and what leads them to die. For example, there's a league called the Pavlov Champions League, which I play in personally, and they are soon gonna make a casting system, and they're soon gonna use the channel. I assume it's gonna be the official Pavlov Champions YouTube channel, but I can't tell for sure yet, but I will leave it down in the description below. I would also recommend playing a thing called matchmaking. If you don't know it, it's basically a server on Discord. You can play with others that are also trying to be competitive and have fun and do callouts and stuff. But I've heard the mods have become kind of shitty and there's not a lot of moderation, to be honest, and people just sometimes just say the N-word out loud. But it's still good practice, but I would not recommend joining it if you play in public lobbies and you can't top rank most of the games. I personally used aim maps such as a guy called Shadow. He developed one aim map. It was actually pretty good and it was pretty much all we had on Pavlov. Now there's a lot of different versions. But man, back in my day, we only had a wall and a red dot that switched around. That was it. But there are a lot more maps now on Pavlov and PC version. For example, on Pavlov I will probably just search up for a map and there's a bunch of good maps there. And on PC, you can just search for Spinix. and that's a very good map for warming up and just playing in general. There's also a map called Warm Up, which is also very good. But yeah, it's also very important to warm up for games. Personally, I take 35 minutes to 5 minutes to warm up for games, but personally, I don't do that anymore. I pretty much just like come 5 minutes late and how the fuck am I captain of a team right now? What the fuck? I know this may sound cliche, but just have fucking fun. Because I've played this game a lot. I mean, over 1,000 hours in a game. It's a lot. But just finding people you enjoy playing with and have a fun time with is definitely the best thing you can do. And it's probably the best thing I've learned from playing this game. Anyway, God bless. Have a good day.